Hope the internet stays working. It's been a little spotty the last day or so. Forgive me if I disappear suddenly. We're here to help you learn about languages and linguistics, give you language learning tools to inspire you to learn on your own. But you can also come and find us, take lessons with us for the languages we study, read our blog posts, and all that kind of thing. Find us on social media. Today, I'm going to be doing mostly Danish and a couple others that I haven't picked yet. The goal here is to do all of the languages that are offered on Duolingo, because it's a really fun way to learn.
Du spiser kødet.
So this little suffix here, the et
Kødet.
on the word for meat, makes it definite. The meaning of English, the. You eat the meat.
De spiser citronen.
They eat the lemon.
Bjørnene spiser svinekødet.
Okay, here we have plural definite.
Bjørnene. Bjørnene.
A lot like the form in Norwegian, closely related languages. The bears eat. And this one's also definite. The pork. The fact that it's T suffixed here tells me that it's a neuter noun.
Børnene drikker mælk.
Børnene.
Børnene.
Okay, not the bears, the children. Remember this word. Drink milk.
Vegetarerne spiser ost.
Should be saying these aloud afterward to practice getting my mouth around the words.
Vegetarerne spiser ost.
Vegetarerne spiser ost. I think this is plural. Eat and just cheese, no article. Article is a word like or the.
Jeg spiser saltet.
Jeg spiser saltet.
Jeg spiser saltet.
Saltet. I eat the salt. Hen har oljen. Okay, not neuter. Hen is spelled H-A-N. Ha. Is it with an I, right? Not a J. Oljen. Hen har oljen. I'm eating the meal and she is drinking the tea. Jeg spiser meal, måltid. And what's the gender? Is it måltidet in the spelling? Måltid. Oh. Hun is she. Drikker. Teen. Jeg is spelled J-E-G. Jeg. Just go to my channel real quick and renew my request for requests. What languages are you most interested in seeing, hearing, learning? Send me a message.
Fuglene spiser risene.
Fuglene spiser risene. The birds are eating the rice. It looks like plural. Rice. We don't say rices in
Risene.
It just look that way.
Drengen har kagen.
Drengen har kagen. Looks like a word for key.
Kagen.
Cake. The boy has.
Dyret spiser brød.
Dyret spiser brød.
Dyret spiser brød.
So we don't hear
Dyret.
that. Maybe once upon a time it was pronounced that way.
Dyret.
Oh, T is dropped.
Dyret spiser brød.
And we don't really hear that D clearly either, but the D seems to be coloring the vowel. Brød. Closure very incomplete in the mouth. The D would have the opening sealed off very quickly, but brød. Here at the end of a word, it's not doing that. So the meaning is the animal eats bread.
Elefanterne spiser.
Is this just elephants or the elephant?
Elefanterne.
It's definite. are eating.
Kvinden har appelsinerne.
Kvinden har appelsinerne.
Kvinden har appelsinerne.
The woman has the oranges.
Du spiser aftensmaden.
Spiser aftensmaden.
Du spiser aftensmaden.
Eat the dinner. Vegetarian is eating the oranges. Vegetarian, like that. Yes. Spiser apple. This is a compound that I think means Chinese apple. Dates from the time when the orange was new to Europeans. No requests yet. I can keep an eye on it there. Appelsinerne, I think it is. Yeah. Spiser hen. Does he eat the dinner? Aftensmaden. It's not neuter. It's the common gender. Alright. Well, done with that. Okay. Finish another.
Hesten er et dyr.
Okay. The horse. Hesten er et dyr. Horse is an animal. So horse, this noun, hest,
Hesten.
non-neuter, common gender.
Et.
And this
Dyr,
it instead of in tells me that dyr is neuter.
Anden læser avisen.
The duck reads the newspaper. Anden læser avisen. Duck reads the newspaper. It's just once more.
Anden læser avisen.
Anden læser avisen.
Ænderne har tallerkenerne.
The ducks. Ænderne har tallerkenerne. Okay. Ducks have the plates.
Tallerkenerne.
So at this first N is where the stem ends and the rest is suffixes. The plates. Tallerken. This first one is an A, and I'm interested now in the history, the source of this word. So let's go to Wiktionary. Tallerken. Etymology, yes. Tallerken, Middle Low German. Salja. Cool. Look at this IPA transcription. The R gets vocalized into ah, like in German. The N suffix loses the vowel, fuses onto the preceding velar stop g, and assimilates. It becomes teleaken, which also is shared with German. And the S showing up there, tsa, is just a slow release of the tongue tip from the T position. If you release it quickly, ta, and if a little more slowly, tsa, transitional S. Which London speakers of English tend to do.
Han har tallerkenerne.
He has tallerken. Those suffixes, the plates, definite plural.
Skildpadden drikker te.
Skildpadden drikker te.
Skildpadden drikker te.
It's pretty high mid E, te. The turtle drinks the tea. Is drinking, just tea, not the tea.
Sandwichene er mad.
Tense isn't so important. Sandwichene er mad.
Sandwichene er mad.
Sandwichene er mad.
Mad. Sandwichene.
Pronounce. I think it's computer-generated speech. It's pronouncing the ene as a separate word, so I'm finding this not too reliable. I'm not overly familiar with Danish. It's just an intuition. So the meaning is going to be the sandwiches, definite plural. Whenever I say definite, I'm using it. It's a grammatical term. It just means when we put it into English, we're going to have the word the. The sandwiches are food. It's with mad.
Mad.
It's related to our word meat. Meat used to be more general in its meaning, refer to food generally, and became specialized.
Elefanten spiser appelsinerne.
Elefanten spiser appelsinerne. The elephant is eating oranges. The oranges. I think that's definite. duck is eating bread. Enten spiser brød.
Skildpadden drikker te.
Skildpadden drikker te. So here too in the middle of a word, this D.
Skildpadden.
It's not padden.
Skildpadden drikker te.
Padden drikker te. Turtle drinks tea. And we're done. Okay, I think. Oh, no, let's finish this up and then take a little
En
break.
kvinde drikker ølene.
Break, I mean, go to another language. Not stop doing it. A woman drinks the oil. Oh, the beer. Øl.
En kvinde drikker ølene.
Kvinde
Drikker.
Anden spiser kartoflen.
Enten spiser kartoflen. The duck eats the potato. I think it's singular.
Bjørnen har kartoflen.
Bjørnen har kartoflen.
Bjørnen har kartoflen. Kartoflen.
Kartoflen.
Bjørnen har kartoflen.
Kartoflen. The bear has the potato.
Musen spiser brødet.
Musen spiser brødet. The mouse eats the bread. Definite.
Krabben drikker vandet.
Krabben drikker vand.
Krabben drikker vandet.
Still requests. Okay. The crab drinks the water.
Edderkoppen og bjørnen drikker vin og øl.
Edderkoppen og bjørnen drikker vin og øl. The spider and the bear conjoined drikker drink wine and beer. Is the crab eating the bread? So we can put the verb first. Spiser krabbe. Krabbe. The crab's going to be krabben. And the bread, also definite. Brød with the full noun and the et suffix. Just 3 words. The mouse is not drinking the beers. Musen drikker ikke ølene. So special O. Yes, that's good. Alright, maybe. Well, let's just go with what's next. I'm going to skip English, of course. Indonesian. Early days here. There we go. Let's go back to basics.
Saya suka apel.
I. Is that like?
Suka. Saya.
Like apples. Apples. Saya makan jeruk.
Saya mau jeruk.
Saya mau jeruk. I want an orange.
Saya makan.
I eat.
Saya mau jeruk. Saya makan jeruk.
Mau jeruk. Saya makan jeruk. The meaning is, I want an orange. I eat an orange. Saya suka like. Says. Oh hi. Saya suka jeruk. Saya suka apel. If we look and consider this, the phonetic shapes of all the words, it looks like the preferred verb and noun has 2 syllables, and it's going to be, so using C to mean consonant, V for vowel, C, V, C, V, C, maximally. Don't see any clusters so far.
Kamu minum susu.
Nice, evenly arranged words. Kamu is
Kamu.
drink milk. That apple. Apel itu.
Saya punya apel.
Punya apel. So here it looks like a cluster, punya, but that may just be a single sound. Nya, as in Spanish, señor. Have. Punya, have. Okay.
Kamu makan itu.
You eat that. Milk, susu. Saya punya. Jeruk. You drink water. Kamu minum air. I eat an apple. Saya makan apel. Oops. Kamu minum air. Saya makan apel, right? Kamu. What's wrong? I guess I could back it up now that I'm recording it. But I think we'll go on. Don't need to bore you with that. Any requests yet? Not yet.
Dia suka hitam.
She suka likes hitam, black. I think just the color black. You have cats. Kamu punya kucing. NG also looks like two consonants, but it's a single sound like in English. Sing. From a phonetic perspective, sing kucing. It's just a single consonant sound that happens to be written with two letters.
Kamu kuat.
Kamu kuat. You are strong.
Dia suka hitam.
He or she likes hitam again, color black.
Merah dan putih.
Dan. So here we have an exception. Dan, a single syllable word, means and. Putih. And it's red and white. Red. Merah. Putih. And these have a final H, which English does not. Black. Hitam. Saya kuat. You have no consonant between vowels too, as in kuat. Still two syllables. So in any of those positions, right, if we're, let me make a note, we did Indonesian. So C, V, C, V, C seems to be the preferred word order, and any of the consonants can also be nothing for a lexical word like a noun and a verb. Now, I'll spell it here. A little word like and, dan, different story, different constraints, or different preferred structure for it. Alright, that was a nice little side trip there. Let's go back to Danish. Thanks for joining. Hope you like what you see. If there's any languages that interest you more than what I'm doing, just give me a comment and I will switch to that, because my aim here is to do all of the languages that are offered in no particular order. Alright, back to Danish, right? Yeah. Plurals. Bøger.
Bøger. Hunde.
Hunde.
Katte.
So,
Hunde.
notice in this one we spell it with a D, but the D is dropped from the sound.
Katte.
Katte.
Bøger.
Bøger.
Hunde. Hun har heste.
She has, is this plural? Horses?
Heste.
Here is. Horses. Katte.
Katte.
All plural. Okay, so we're seeing different shapes of a plural suffix. It could be just an E, as in hunekette, or it can be ER, and another change in this one, bo in the singular. The vowel has, we say mutated. Well, not in English. For the word books, we do it in English words like man, men, just change the vowel. My mouse, mice, goose, geese, and so on.
Hun har heste.
Hun har, she has heste, horses.
Vi læser bøger og aviser.
Bøger og aviser.
Aviser.
We read, læser. Just books, not definite. Indefinite, we'd say. And newspapers. Cats. Katte. Drikker. And milk is the sound, but we spell it with ash, this AE ligature. Entene drikker ikke mælk. Entene, I think, has ash. Endene, that would be the ducks. What would it be here? Enda. Enda's game. Drikker ikke mælk. There we go. Yes, thank you for noticing. children. Børn.
børn,
Okay, this is the glottal stop that comes in certain words. Børn.
fugle spiser brød,
Fugle spiser brød. Birds, indefinite. Eat bread.
De har børn.
De har, what was it?
De har børn.
Børn. They have children. So this D for they is a place where we can see the close relatedness. Although our words they and them in English are really taken from a Norse language. So maybe not the best way to indicate that. Just 1 second, please. Step away. Give you something to watch. Languages and linguistics for language learning. If there are any languages you're particularly interested in seeing me do, please reach out to me and give us a follow if you like what you see. Today, mostly Swahili. We're going to jump right into it. Chores time.
Mwanamke,
Mwanamke is woman.
mkulima,
Mkulima, farmer. Now, I think the sound's going to be nguo, where n is a syllable by itself. And if it were just nguo, if that were the sound, it would be ng apostrophe, but not sure. Hope we can hear it. Nguo, close. Alright, thank you, my colleague. Taking over again. Back to Danish.
pigen spiser æbler,
Pigen spiser æbler. Pigen means the girl, singular definite. Eats apples is the meaning.
jeg spiser appelsiner,
Jeg spiser appelsiner.
jeg spiser appelsiner,
Spiser appelsiner. I eat, and this is indefinite, oranges.
Kvinderne har tallerkener.
Kvinderne har tallerkener. Kvinderne, this is plural definite. The women have tallerkener. Just indefinite plural, the for plates. The women have plates. So in these early units, what you want to look for, what you need to distinguish basically is, of course, singular, SG for singular versus plural. And each of these categories you have an indefinite form and a definite form. So 4 forms at least of every noun. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be some variation in the suffixes marking these categories, but you just have to kind of match up what is telling you what. It's really easy to make mistakes, especially if you know related languages like German, Dutch. The singular definite suffix, so number 3 here in my little scheme, looks a lot like a Dutch and German plural marker. I've made that mistake here many times. Birds, fuglene, fuglene, tiger. And so these are both indefinite. There's no the in our prompt. It's just going to be ven. Oh, not failene, fuglene with the U. Fugle, okay, birds. That would be definite. Yeah, the N, like I was talking about, marks definite. Jeg spiser frugt. Oh, spelled with a G. Good to know. Send me your requests. I'm here for you. You can also ask me questions about grammar, vocabulary, about any of these languages. Once again, here's the ones I'm doing. Some I'm very familiar with, most not at all, just seeing for the first time. These are the ones we've started so far. There's a few others out of the way on Duolingo. I hope we'll get to them too. But these are my priority 1 languages.
Ænder, fugle og skildpadder er dyr.
Fugle og skildpadder
Skildpadder.
er dyr. Means ducks, birds. I would put commas if this were for publication. And turtles. But on Duolingo, you don't have to worry so much about punctuation, which is nice. Just put the words in the right order and the right forms. Are Dyr animals, and the singular and plural of this one look alike. So in this scheme, 1 and 2, both Dyr. It's going to be different when we make it definite to say the animal, the animals.
Bjørne drikker vand.
Bjørne must be plural. Bears. A general statement. Drink water.
Bjørne spiser æbler.
Bjørne spiser æbler. Bjørne. Bears eat apples.
Spiser du sandwiches?
Spiser du sandwiches? Do you eat sandwiches? Spelled just like
Jeg har elefanter.
Jeg har elefanter. I have elephants.
Manden har kartofler.
Manden har kartofler. This is the man. Has potatoes. Manden har kartofler. It's a single F, right? Yeah. Heste er vegetarer. Okay. Vegetarer. Yeah, okay. No requests yet. Let's be enemy time. And we are 26 minutes in. So another hour I will try to be here if the internet cooperates. Got until then, pretty much, to make any requests. Let's go on with genitive. Genitive is the noun, the case associated with possession, possessive form. That's not the only use, but that's one of the big ones.
Drengen spiser en kvindes pasta.
You ever see it?
Pasta.
Uh-huh. Okay, it's pasta.
Pasta.
That's the hidden noun. That's what the object is. The boy eats pasta is the basic meaning of this sentence. But we're given extra information about this noun. It is owned by a woman. The woman's pasta. And this N, I think, is the article of the woman and not the pasta. The boy eats a woman's pasta.
Vi læser en mands bøger.
Vi læser en mands bøger. We read a man. Wrong key there.
Du spiser en mands æble.
Du spiser en mands æble. Du spiser en mands. Yeah. If it puts it into blue, that means it's recognized that you've said it acceptably. You can just repeat it until it gets each word.
Vi har mandens appelsiner.
Vi har mandens appelsiner. We have, and this one's definite, we have the man's oranges, plural, indefinite. Han snakker dansk og engelsk.
Bjørnens morgenmad er en fisk.
Bjørnens morgenmad er en fisk. The bear's breakfast is a fish. Er en fisk.
Drengen spiser bjørnens æble.
Drengen spiser bjørnens æble as an ash letter. Let's just listen again.
Drengen spiser bjørnens æble.
The boy eats the bear's apple.
Hun drikker kvindens vin.
Hun drikker kvindens vin. She drinks. Definite. The woman. Her wine. The woman's wine.
Kvindens kylling drikker vand.
Kvindens kylling drikker vand. The woman's chicken. Singular. Drinks just water. The bear noun.
Manden spiser en kvindes frugter.
Manden spiser en kvindes frugter. The man eats. Now here, so definite.
Manden.
This one. And this kvindes is indefinite. En kvindes. A woman's fruits. Plural. Frugter.
Vi læser en mands bøger.
Vi læser en mands bøger. We read a man his books. So these
Mens.
possessor nouns In grammar, what we call that form of the noun, or that class of forms for all of them, is genitive. Just an arbitrary label. Don't worry about breaking it down, what it means. The English genitive is marked with apostrophe S.
Drengen har en piges and.
And in all the cases we've seen so far, you can just stick that in to translate it correctly. Drengen har en piges and.
Drengen har en piges and.
The boy, singular, has a girl's duck.
Bjørnen drikker drengens mælk.
Bjørnen drikker drengens mælk. The bear drinks the boy's milk.
Pigen har andens brød.
Pigen har andens brød. The girl has the duck's bread.
En piges kat spiser en drengs mus.
Okay,
Piges.
that's a genitive.
Drengs.
That's a genitive. A girl's cat drinks a not drinks, eats a girl's possessor cat eats spiser boys. That's a sad sentence.
Pigen har andens brød.
Pigen har andens the duck's brød bread. Ups, hane her.
En drengs skildpadde spiser pigens jordbær.
En drengs skildpadde spiser
Jordbær.
jordbær. Boy's turtle. Turtle eats spiser the girl's strawberry.
Kvinden har pigens æble.
Kvinden har pigens æble. Har.
Han drikker drengens vand.
Hun drikker drengens vand. He drinks the boy's water.
En skildpadde spiser andens brød.
En skildpadde spiser andens brød. A turtle eats the duck's bread.
Pigen har andens brød.
Pigen har andens brød. Next. Okay. Still no requests. I know what to do.
Mændenes hunde drikker vand.
Mændenes hunde drikker vand.
Mændenes hunde drikker vand.
So I think it's let's see.
Mændenes.
Yeah. This is plural definite possessive. The men's, we will say. Hunde. Dogs, plural. Drink water.
Mens øl.
Mens øl. The man's beer. Men's beer.
Mænds hunde.
Hunde. What?
Mænds hunde. Mænds hunde.
I don't know what hunde is. Oh, okay. That's not telling me about the typo. The D is silent. Dog.
Kvindernes katte drikker mælk.
Kvindernes katte drikker mælk. The women, plural definite. Possessive, women's cats, plural. Drink milk.
Kvinders vin.
Kvinders vin. Women's wine.
En pige drikker fiskens vand.
En pige drikker fiskens vand. En pige drikker fiskens vand. Is drinking the whole sea, or what it means a girl is drinking or drinks fiskens, the fishes, singular definite, water.
Manden spiser fiskens kød.
Manden spiser fiskens kød. The man, singular, okay, we can tell by the vowel.
Manden.
Plain letter A. It's nice when we see it spelled out. Plain letter A for singular. Ash, that fancy ligature for plural. The man eats the fish's the fish's meat. Manden spiser fiskens kød.
Kvinders mad.
Kvinders mad. Kvinders. Women's Food.
Mændenes aviser.
Mændenes aviser. The men's newspapers. Both nouns plural.
Mænds øl.
Men's øl. Men's beer. Nice. All right, let's go back to Indonesian. Learn some more here. Feel pretty good on the basics. Time for basics 2. Surat.
Surat.
This word is borrowed from Arabic. We know it as surah.
Buku.
Kita makan.
Kita makan. Kita. Makan is eating. Kita, you.
Makan. Kita.
We kita. We ate.
Aku suka kamu.
Aku is also pronoun. Suka likes you.
Kamu. Aku.
Aku means the same as saya. I like you. There's probably some kind of difference in implication, meaning, but I don't know.
Dia menulis buku.
But I do know people who speak Indonesian. I could ask.
Dia menulis buku.
Menulis, this is that verb.
Menulis.
He writes a book. I suppose it could also be the book. Saya menulis buku. Kamu menulis buku. Not much to it. Nice that there's no articles to have to worry about. There doesn't seem to be plural marking either. It's just a single form. Well, just haven't seen it yet. Koran.
Koran.
Guess what language that's borrowed from?
Mereka menulis.
Mereka. Must be a pronoun. Or it could be
Mereka.
Mereka. They write.
Saya menulis ini.
Ini. I write this.
Menu itu.
That menu.
Saya membaca buku Anda.
This is the verb of reading. Membaca. Membaca.
Saya membaca buku Anda.
So, could be a
Membaca.
cluster here, MB, or it could be a prenasalized, mba, where the syllable boundary comes after me, mba, cha. Don't know.
Saya membaca buku Anda.
And another cluster.
Anda.
Another nasal stop sequence, I'll say. I am
Membaca.
read. Okay, here we have a possessive construction.
Anda.
Book your means your book. And note the word order. The head noun is coming first. I read your book. All I do. They. This is a 3-syllable one. Mereka. Membaca. Koran. Saya membaca. Okay, and it's buku Anda. Let's finish up this circle. Maybe we can go to a third language for today. To show you that I am, in fact, doing more than just these two.
Gaun.
In case you doubt. Gaun. So this too fits into that template, our scheme for Indonesian nouns and verbs. There's just no consonant in the middle. That one's a 0, we could say. Gaun.
Ia menulis surat.
Probably take it from English. Gown. G-O-W-N. Ia menulis surat. Surat is the letter. He menulis writes a letter.
Gaun itu merah.
Gaun itu, okay. Merah. Something interesting. Either we take merah, which means red, as the verb, or we say this language just doesn't use a verb, any word to mean is. That gown is red. Dress.
Kami minum.
Kami. You drink, right? These multiple.
Minum. Kami.
We. I'm glad I checked. Kami. We. Kami. Kami.
Kucing saya besar.
Saya. So I think it's my cat. Besar.
Besar.
Again, no word that's just to be. My cat is big. You have Kamu punya jeruk. Dia and rich. Oh, what's that? Kaya. Dia kaya. Completes that cycle. All right, what else we got in our queue? Portuguese. That sounds like fun. So one of my good friends in linguistics knows Indonesian, and another good friend knows Portuguese quite well. If they ever watch this, I hope they enjoy me making a fool of myself, stumbling through their languages. Cup. All right. Garrafa. Garrafa. Xícara. Copo. O copo looks like the best match.
O copo.
But it means glass. I guess they're telling me. Xícara. That's a cool word. Let me get a Brazilian keyboard. Lexilogos is a really great resource. I'm going to say Portuguese. And so this allows me to get those special characters. So you can, if you can see it, it's pretty small. That letter I has an accent mark on it. I bet I could type I equals and it just converts it if you don't want to use the mouse. And then I'm going to plug it into Wiktionary. From Nahuatl. Xícara. A cup or mug or a cup full. Yeah. Nice. Xícara from Nahuatl. Garrafa.
A xícara.
A xícara.
O copo.
Copo. So we have three letters O here. Note how they sound different.
O copo.
Copo. Where the tonic accent falls on that ko. That's a recognizable O. The other ones sound more like an oo. We say they get raised because of the jaw height. Oo, o. Right, that's one dimension in which vowels differ.
A garrafa.
A garrafa. And here we're wanting that one. So we have a word carafe in English that looks like it's related to this. Garrafa. Mayo. Oh, it's with a G. Silly me. Catalan, Portuguese. Ghurfa in Arabic. So Arabic, that kind of explains why it comes out as a K in one European language, a G in another. They're not inherited, not correspondences between inherited words, but it's just a late loan word. The patterns there, the correspondences from language to language will be different and kind of arbitrary if it's a loan word like that.
Minhas garrafas.
Minhas garrafas. So plural, feminine. Portuguese and Spanish, they have this really nice
Minhas.
word structure where you have a stem, then a gender marker, especially for adjectives, and then plural marker. And here we have all three
Minhas.
parts. And this is my bottles. And note that they, so to speak, rhyme grammatically. The
Minhas.
name suffixes on the modifier
Minhas.
and the noun. Glass copo.
O copo. Não é meu copo.
Not is my cup. We'll have this dummy subject. It is not my cup. English requires it.
Uma xícara de leite.
De leite. A cup of milk. Leite.
Você fala com seus gatos.
Você fala com seus gatos. Do you talk with your cats?
Café com leite.
I sure do. Café
Café com leite.
com leite. Com leite. Lucky guess, I guess, or it just doesn't see the need to correct my spelling. Com, inherited from Latin, cum, meaning with. Cup of juice, suco, por favor. Copo de suco.
Eu bebo suco de maçã.
I drink, eu bebo. The suffix
Bebo.
in this one, letter O, U, we call an agreement marker. It's telling you who the agent or the subject of the verb is. And in this case,
Eu.
it's spelled out with the pronoun, but that can be dropped. I drink juice of apple. By the way, this maçã, it's kind of been bugging me for a while. Where does it come from? going to guess that it's C equals A equals gives me that tilde that I want. Equals P equals. Tell me where it comes from. Manzana in Spanish must be related. Matiana of Matium. Place name? Never heard of Matium. Though some theorize that Matiana was an Iberian pronunciation of the Gallo-Roman word Matianium, a golden apple named after Gaius Matius, horticulturist and friend of Caesar. Well, it's a very nice, detailed, colorful history here. Let's just look at where Matium lies. Ancient capital, principal settlement of the Chatti. Location unknown. Somewhere in the wider neighborhood of Fritzlar in northern Hesse. Wow. I'm glad I looked. There's so much to learn. I didn't know any of that.
Uma xícara de leite.
Uma xícara de leite. A cup, rather. Xícara, cup of milk. A xícara.
A xícara.
Okay, and let's briefly about gender again. These letters O, A before the nouns, those are articles like el and la in Spanish. They mean the. And the difference just has to do with feminine versus masculine. Letter A, as in most Romance languages, is associated with the feminine gender primarily. Okay, just one more here. Alright, your pronunciations are good. Great, thank you very much. Which language, I wonder? You a Portuguese speaker? Let's go over here. Português. Not there. Okay.
Ele gosta de cerveja.
She delights in beer. Gosta. Tastes good. Ele, I always want to say she because it looks like a female name, but it's he. Ela would be the feminine she. He likes of beer.
Falamos de bons livros.
We talk. Falamos about is how I'll translate G in this one. Good books. Okay. Interesting that it's an NS here. Good books. Box.
Sua mulher gosta de animais.
Sua mulher gosta de animais. Sua mulher gosta de animais.
Tu precisa de gato.
Tu precisas de gato.
Tu precisa de gato.
You need of a cat. You need a cat.
Eles gostam de nós.
Eles gostam de nós. They, he plural means they, like us, we will say. De nós.
Elas gostam de batatas.
Elas gostam de batatas. Elas gostam de batatas. They like potatoes.
Eles não falam inglês.
They do not speak English. Eles não falam inglês.
Eles não falam inglês.
Falam inglês. They don't speak
Eu gosto de bife.
Eu gosto de bife. I think we'll say I like steaks. Steak?
Bife.
Yeah. It comes from English beef, I think, or from beef steak. And so the meaning is steak. And so, note that in English we have what we call a transitive verb, right? It's just a single word verb that takes a direct object, no preposition or any packaging like that. Boom, I like steak. But in Portuguese,
De.
we've got to use this G preposition. Oh, phooey. Try to avoid doing that. But I get to learn more because I have to redo it. We speak.
Os livros falam de animais.
The books. Os livros falam de animais.
Os livros falam de animais.
The books talk about animals. And so this L in animal
Animais.
is dropped out in Portuguese.
As meninas falam com ele.
As meninas falam. They speak, not flam. Com ele.
As meninas falam com ele.
Com ele, with him. The girls talk with him. That's the meaning. Yeah, speak with him. Oh, and one thing I meant to do. Oh. Can I just Like to get to know the people who stop by. Still learning how to do things on Twitch, though. Deal with that later.
Tu precisas de gato.
Tu precisas de gato. You need a cat. I know that feeling.
A menina gosta de animais.
A menina gosta de animais. The girl likes animals.
Ele gosta de cerveja.
Ele gosta de cerveja. He likes beer.
Eu gosto de bife.
There I go again. Eu gosto de bife. I like steak.
Eles gostam de nós.
Eles gostam de nós. They, masculine plural, or non-feminine plural, I like to say. As in Romance languages, if it's the masculine plural form, it just means it's not exclusively female. So it could be a mixed group or all men. Gostam, they like us. De nós. Nós não falamos. The verb, here, all of these are verbs, the forms of the same verb to speak. The ending has got to agree with the subject. We do not speak. The mos agrees with nós. Or mus, I guess it'll be. Eles gostam, with the final M, de batatas. Você precisa de gato. Tu precisas de gato, we could also say informal. There we go. Oh, I didn't tweet this. Dang it. It's not going to bring anybody to watch the stream if nobody can see the tweet. Phooey. Indo-europeiskt. På engelska. Baserat. Tyska, franska, spanska, italienska och nederländska. Okay, would happen if, when do open your computero, this is cool. Switching language within a sentence. Finde eine message in esta lingua. No est englando, no est germano. No est hispano, no est franco, no est keine non lingua. Aber du understande. What happened so? Habe your computero eine virus catched? Have du certain BSI gedeveloped? No, du este leyendo la nueva europea lingua de Europanto. Europanto ist uno melange van de meer importantes Europese linguas mit also eine poquito van andere Europese linguas. Somme Latinos, somme Old Greek. How fun. Si se puede. Alright, that was a nice little side trip into Portuguese, but I did promise that we would mostly do Danish today. It's kind of inspired by the cold weather. Record shattering here in the US. It's been very memorable so far, this little Arctic snap. And so far, happily, I and everyone I know about have been free from harm. I hope that continues. Because it's really no joke. If you're at a record cold and your power goes out and your home is just not set up for extreme cold, it can be deadly. I speak English. Jag snackar, talar, also jag talar engelsk. The wrong language in the other.
Ja, det er en bjørn.
Ja, det er en bjørn. Yes, it is a bear. Lunch.
Pigerne og drengene drikker vand.
Probably was frokost. Pigerne og drengene drikker vand. The girls and the boys drink water.
I drikker mælk. I drikker mælk.
You drink milk.
En citron, en tomat og et jordbær.
En citron, en tomat og et jordbær. A lemon, a tomato, and a strawberry.
Manden har kartofler.
Manden har kartofler. God aften. Velkommen. look. It's nice. Velkommen is the spelling.
Pigen har andens brød.
Pigen har andens brød. Har du tallerkener? Tallerkenerne. Tallerkenerne is the form. I did make that one mistake about lunch. I was thinking Swedish. They say lunch. But Danish seems to use the old word for breakfast. They've shifted it back in the day. But I still pass. Welcome to the stream. Please send me your requests for what you'd like to watch and listen to. Or just sit back and enjoy. So we just passed our first checkpoint on this Danish course onto possessive pronouns.
Du har dine æbler. Dine.
So think of the older English word thy, thine. That's an exact match for this Danish dine, your. And note that du and dine have the same initial letter. They're related words. You have your apples.
Du spiser mit æble.
Du spiser mit æble. It looks like German mit, which means with, but I think it's my. You really eat my apple. Eating my apple.
Manden spiser hendes mad.
Manden spiser hendes mad. The man, singular, eats his, or her, okay, her food.
Spiser de hendes frugt?
Spiser de hendes frugt with a G. Are they eating her fruit?
Jeg har mine.
Jeg har mine. I have mine.
Hans hund.
His hund, his dog.
Hunden er din.
Hunden er din. Okay, what was the other language we did just now? It was Portuguese.
Hunden er din.
Okay, the dog is yours. Det din. Jeres. Your duck. Din and spiser min frugt. I think it's anime class. Good.
Vi spiser vores mad.
We eat our food. Vi spiser vores
Vi,
mad.
vi spiser vores mad.
We eat our food.
De har deres.
Deres. They have theirs, I guess.
Deres.
Sounds just like our word. Theirs.
Katten er deres.
Kitten er deres. The cat is theirs.
Æblet er dets morgenmad.
Æblet er dets morgenmad. Morgenmad. Though that's the one for
Morgenmad.
morning food.
Æblet er dets morgenmad. Dets.
The apple is its breakfast.
Jeg spiser dens mad.
Spiser dens mad. I eat there? No.
Dens.
It's food.
Vi har dens frugt.
Excuse me.
Vi har dens frugt.
We have its fruit. Vi har dens frugt.
Manden har jeres hund.
Yes was also yours, right?
Jeres.
Plural your, yes. The man has your y'alls. The man has your dog. Pigen, the girl singular. Har din. It needs more. Din. Din. If not, or yes. Vi drikker dens mælk. Vi drikker dens mælk with ash. The letter, not the substance.
Hun spiser sit æble.
Sit æble, what's that?
Sit.
Huh. Hans. Sit. That's interesting. Her. She eats her apple. Sit. Probably sin, yeah. Okay, just like German sein. She eats her apple.
Katten spiser sin mad.
Katten spiser sin mad. The cat eats its, we will say, food. Her food.
Han læser sin avis.
Læser. He reads sin avis, his newspaper.
Drengen læser sine bøger.
Drengen læser sine bøger. The boy reads, plural here, his books. The books.
Katten spiser sin mad.
The cat eats its food. Katten spiser sin mad.
Pigen spiser sine æbler.
Pigen spiser sine æbler. The girl eats sine, maybe because it's plural, her apples. It's in a different form there.
Manden spiser sit brød.
The man eats his bread. Sit. Manden spiser sit brød. The boy, dreng, læser sine bøger. His booger. Fuglen har, okay, it's gonna be sit egg, I think. Fuglen har sit egg. Egg, okay. With an ash and a single G. Fuglen har sit egg. There we go. Har sit ash G. Well, thanks for watching. And also, thanks for sticking around. What will we do next? Maybe we'll go to a fourth language real quick. What's next on the list? Espanol? Why not? So, it's closely related to Portuguese, and we have really similar word structure and so on. And it's a bit closer of a match between letter and sound in Spanish. Las personas. So it's a feminine noun, but it's not necessarily female people.
Las personas.
Dos.
Dos.
La mesa.
La mesa.
Una mesa para dos personas, por favor.
Una mesa para dos personas, por favor. A table for two people, please. El restaurante.
El restaurante.
Un restaurante.
The restaurant. Uno, dos, tres. Para tres personas. Let's wrap up this nice easy circle. El sándwich.
El sándwich.
W is not normally a letter of Spanish words, but they do use it in borrowed, we say, borrowed words taken from other languages. El queso.
El queso.
Un sándwich de queso.
Cheese sandwich. El pescado.
El pescado.
Un sándwich de pescado.
A fish sandwich. La carne. How feminine.
La carne.
La carne. Una hamburguesa. Hamburguesa con queso. Kind of guessing. All right, good. Con queso. Queso. Move this here. I don't have to turn my head so much. That'd be good. Let's wrap up restaurant. La naranja.
La naranja.
El café.
El café. Sin leche, por favor.
Sin leche, por favor. Without milk, please. El jugo.
El jugo.
Un jugo de naranja, por favor.
Un jugo de naranja, por favor. An orange juice. El vaso.
El vaso.
Interesting that she's using a V sound. Sin azúcar. Azúcar, por favor. Una taza de café, por favor. Una taza de café, por favor. Café can be accented like in French. Good. It's not café, but café. Uno más. El tomate.
El tomate.
La ensalada.
La ensalada.
Which I think originally meant that it was salted. Just look at the structure of that word. That which has salt in it. La ensalada.
Yo necesito pagar.
Yo necesito pagar. I need to pay. Infinitive. La sal.
La sal.
La sal. Feminine.
Carne o pescado.
Carne o pescado. Meat or fish.
Yo quiero una ensalada.
Yo quiero una ensalada. I need a salad. Want. Quiero.
La cuenta, por favor.
La cuenta, por favor. The check. Please.
Yo quiero pagar la cuenta.
Yo quiero pagar la cuenta. Oops.
Yo quiero una ensalada.
Yo quiero una ensalada. I want. That's more reasonable. Salad. Necesito would have been need. There we go. Again. Alright, back to Danish for a bit. And still open for requests. Let me know what you would like to see. Again, here's our option. And there's still a couple others that are not yet started. I'm also open to doing if there's a desire to see them. All these I have at least started the course of. And I want to show you all how easy and fun it is to do them and to use Duolingo to learn languages. I can't get enough of it.
Pigerne drikker dem.
Them.
Dem.
So it's the girls, plural definite, drink them.
De har hende.
They are hende.
Hende.
They have her.
De har hende.
They are hende.
Jeg læser dem menuen.
Læse.
Jeg læser dem menuen.
Menuen. Sounds like there's some word in between there. Dim. I read them. Yeah. It's hard. It's really goes by really quickly.
Jeg læser dem menuen.
It's just an sound.
Jeg læser dem menuen.
It's a menu.
Det er mig.
They are my. It is my. It is me.
Hunden spiser ham.
Him.
Ham.
Ouch. Oh no. Hunden spiser ham. The dog. Eats him.
Nej, det er ikke mig. Nej, det er ikke mig.
Nej, det er ikke mig. That's not me. Interesting.
Er det der?
Er det der? Is it you?
En ugle.
An owl. En ugle.
Jeg læser dig avisen.
Jeg læser dig avisen. Jeg læser dig avisen. Read you the newspaper.
Ja, det er hende.
Hende. Yes, it is her.
Hende.
Ja, det er hende.
Hunden spiser ham.
The dog eats him. Hunden spiser ham. Hunden.
Jeg læser dem menuen.
Jeg læser dem. Menuen.
Det er mig.
Det er mig. It is me. It is I. Alright, let me switch to my colleague. Tunafagia is like a verb. We have this present tense marking. Sweeping. Tu means we. We sweep. We're sweeping. Unahitaji ufagio. The broom. Yeah. This is related to that verb we just saw. A noun for sweeping broom. Hitaji. Unahitaji. Do you need? Hold on to this. This is a really instructive sentence here. Nahitaji. Ufagio. Do you need a I'm not going to note down every sentence we see, but some that I find instructive, I shall.
Ufagio.
Jamila anafua nguo. So something with clothes. I'm going to guess washing maybe. Yeah. A, third person marker. He, she. Na, present. Fua, washing. Jamila, Arabic name, is washing clothes. Somebody's got a noisy car in the area. Thanks, Chief. Ready to take over again. My drink ready. Thank you for sticking around. On with the show.
Katten drikker den.
The cat drinks it, I think.
Drikker den.
Katten drikker den. The cat drinks it.
Har I os?
Ayos. Do you have us?
Os.
So it's kind of cool that E, even here spelled with a capital, looks like I, but it means you. I think it's the formal pronoun.
De har den.
De har den. They have it.
De har jer.
They have yeah. What's that?
Ja.
Have yeah. They have you plural. Yeah.
Katten drikker det.
Katten drikker det. The cat is drinking it. Or we can just say drinks.
Har du det?
Do de. Ha. Do de. Silent T there in D.
Elefanterne spiser jer.
Elefanterne spiser jer. The elephants, plural, sounds lovely, are eating you. In case you didn't know, are eating you.
Hunden spiser den.
The dogs are eating it. Hunden spiser den. Hunden spiser den. Yeah. Do you have us? Har du os? Du spiser den. De. Du spiser den or de? I'm gonna say de. Okay. Neat. Object pronouns. That was fun. Let's go back to Portuguese. It's such a cool language. They're all so cool, really. So different. It's neat when two or more languages are alike in some ways. I also enjoy it when they're different. So I have no end of enjoyment from what I'm learning.
Você precisa das chaves.
Das chaves. Okay, here we have a nice fusion. It's G, as, of, them, plural. Do you have need of the keys? Would be a really literal rendering. Do you need the keys? I would say. It is definite. Oh, it looks like German
Das.
as it happens. Because it embodies that word as, which is the definite plural feminine marker. The keys.
Eu gosto dos pássaros.
Is again in the masculine. I like the birds is the meaning. Eu gosto dos pássaros. I like the birds.
Você precisa das chaves.
Do you need the keys? Você precisa das chaves.
O cachorro do menino.
And this too is a fusion.
Cachorro do.
G, U, of the. The dog of the boy, we can just say the boys. We'll invert the word order. In English, dog.
O jornal da mulher.
Da. G, A. The woman's. Both are definite in the original here. The woman's newspaper. And we don't say the woman's the newspaper. But we would say the newspaper of the woman with the word the occurring twice. The girls talk about the boys. Falam is the verb, can only be three. As meninas falam dos meninos.
Eu sou do Canadá.
Eu sou do
Eu sou do Canadá.
Canada, of the Canada. I am of the Canada. The boy likes the wolf. Menino is boy, so it can only be number 2. Gosta do lobo. Lobo from Latin lupus, the wolf. Lupum, accusative.
Não gosto das suas palavras.
Não gosto das suas palavras. I do not like his words. Não gosto das suas palavras. They do not need the horses. Cavalos is the horses, can only be number 1. Elas não precisam dos cavalos. This is not the number 2, though it looks like Spanish. It's a fusion, de-us, of the. Gosta de nós, a vaca. Gosta de. Oh, I think it should be accented. Da gente. Yeah, the other way of saying. Of the people being us. Elas precisam da minha vaca, I think. Eles precisam of my cow. Da minha vaca. Okay. It's halfway there.
O menino fala deles.
Fala deles. De eles. The boy talks about them.
A tartaruga não é delas.
A tartaruga não é delas. Tartaruga, turtle, right?
Tartaruga.
It looks like English but the meaning is the definite. The turtle. Não é is not. Of them. Plural feminine is not theirs, we say.
O livro não fala delas.
The book does not talk about them. O livro não fala delas.
O cachorro dela bebe água.
The dog of her drinks water. Her dog drinks water.
Falamos dele.
Falamos dele. We talk about him. I like him. Dele. Gosto dele.
Falamos dele.
Falamos dele. Fusion. The boy talks about them. Can only be number 2. Fala deles. O menino fala deles.
Eu gosto delas.
I like them. Eu gosto delas. It's interesting that if it's just the preposition de, we're going to say G, because it's going to be unstressed. But in these fusions, it'll be a de with an unraised vowel and the unpalatalized D. He needs them. Precisa deles. The book talks about her. O livro fala dela. The cat does not like her. O gato não gosta. Não gosta. Gosta dela. In the home stretch. 10 minutes to go. Let's for sure return to our theme language, our main one today, Danish. I just like to pick one language for each session, maybe sometimes more than one, to focus on, but I really enjoy skipping from one to another. Just brightens my day. Coat. Huh.
Nederdel.
The D looks like lower part. Break down the word.
Sko.
Scoop.
Frakke.
So, probably related to our word frock. Let's find out about that. Frocking. Find where it comes from. Did I spell it wrong? Frocking. Unfamiliar with it. Maybe I shouldn't have capitalized it. How did that even happen? Oh, I don't want Wikipedia, I want Wiktionary. That's why. Ake. German Frack. Yeah, rock, frock are related there. So let's go real quick to this. Fracke, frack, tailcoat. Middle English, frock, frocke. From Old French, frock, which means monk's gown or habit. Perhaps via medieval Latin, frocus, rocus, Frankish, frock, Proto-Germanic, chrukas. This is the one we're after. Krek, to weave. That's cool. A woven thing, probably. Kjole.
Kjole. Skjorte.
Skjorte, shirt.
Sko.
Sko.
Kjole.
Kjole.
Skjorterne er jeres.
Yes. Yours, plural. The shirts are yours. Skjorte. Oh, skirt is nederdel.
Nederdel.
Nede. So this single D between the vowels is really weakened. We just a gesture toward a D. Nede.
Frakke. Nederdel.
Nederdel.
Skjorterne er jeres.
Skjorterne er yes. The shirt is yours. Shirts. Yeah. Sko.
Sko. De har mine kjoler.
Kjoler. Dresses.
Kjoler.
They have my dresses. De har mine kjoler.
En jakke.
En jakke. Jacket. Oops. The boy is wearing the skirt, you rascal dreng. Oh, is wearing. Ha, po, ha. Nail. Delen. Po, I'm gonna guess that it's animate gender. Good. Jo, jeg har skjorte på. Skjorte på. Skjorte på. I have a shirt. That po is related to our word upon. I have a shirt on is the word for word, meaning to wear. Bukser.
Bukser.
Hat.
Tøj.
Tøj, which is clothes in general.
Bukser. Hat.
Hit.
Bukser. Tøj.
Tøj.
Mine bukser.
Pants.
Jakkesæt.
Jakkesæt. Jacket set.
Hat.
Pigen har min hat på.
The girl. Pigen har min hat på. The girl has my hat on means she is wearing. Singular. The girl is wearing my hat.
Katten har min strømpe.
Katten har min strømpe. The cat has my sock. Sock it too. Has my sock.
Drengen har jakkesæt og hat på.
The boy is wearing a suit and hat. Drengen har jakkesæt og hat på. Oh. The cat has my sock. Katten har min strømpe, was it? Strømpe with an letter. And I relate it to that German word Strumpf, which means sock as well. Dresses and suits are clothes. Dresses, kjola. I think dresses. Yep. Oh, jakke. What's going to be the plural form? Sætter. Jakkesæt. Maybe just same form for singular and plural. Tøj. A little bit of guesswork there. Turned out all right in the end. İçimden geleni. Portuguese, yes. Cute. Cute little meme. Tack. So we're moving right along through this Danish course. Maybe a quarter or so of the way. All that is left to do. And I'm really feeling Portuguese today. I want to do more. Okay.
O cinto.
Cinto, belt.
O vestido.
Vestido, palatalization, not T but chi. The dress.
A saia.
Saya, what a cool word. Where's this from? Saya. Not Estonian, but the Portuguese one. Vulgar Latin, sagya. Latin, sagum, Gaulish. Sagos, or from ancient Greek, sagos. Sagos. Cloak. Galician saya. Archaic Spanish, saya. So, it might be a Celtic word with quite a winding path into Portuguese. O vestido. A camisa.
A camisa.
O vestido. Eu tenho uma saia.
Eu tenho uma saia. I have a skirt. O cinto.
O cinto.
A camisa.
A camisa.
É seu cinto.
É seu cinto. It is your. Seu.
Seu.
Your or third person. It is your belt, you silly.
A menina usa um vestido.
Usa. Okay, doesn't mean use, I'm guessing.
Usa.
Wears. Can. Okay, it means both. It's related to our word use. A menina usa vestido. The girl wears a dress, or is wearing. Vestido.
A tua blusa.
Tua blusa. Your blouse.
Ela corta a blusa.
Ela corta.
Ela corta a blusa.
She cuts the blouse. It is a new shirt. É uma nova. Uma camisa nova. A zeda camisola.
Sua camisa.
Sua, your or her or his, her. Your shirt, I would say. Com você. A blusa é minha. He wears a small belt. Ele usa cinto pequeno. Maybe this adjective goes before him. Maybe not. Maybe it's free. Alright, this is a longer one. A lot going on here. How are we doing in our league? Untouchable. Fabulous. So I think I will finish this little cycle and call it a day. Pants. As calças.
A carteira.
Carteira.
O chapéu.
Chapéu. Maybe taken. Looks like it came through French. Chapeau.
As calças.
Oh, an L is going to become a W in a case like this. In like jornal in Portuguese. And it's plural, just like English pants. They don't say a pant. O chapéu.
O chapéu.
Minha calça.
Here it's singular now. My pants. A bota.
As calças. A carteira. A bota.
Wallet.
As calças. A bota. A carteira.
O chapéu é meu.
O chapéu é meu. The hat is mine.
O urso não precisa de agasalhos.
Agasalhos. The bear does not need what?
Agasalhos.
O urso não precisa de agasalhos. The bear does not need warm clothes. Agasalhos. That's a fascinating word. And the H there, LH, shows that it's a lia, a modified L. Agasalhos. Where does this come from? Agasalhar. From Gothic. Gasalia. Geselle in German. To wrap up, cover. Neat. At gasaliare. Gothic and Celtic. We've seen
Meninos usam calças.
usam calças. Boys wear trousers. Wear pants.
As calças são minhas.
As calças. Modified C. So.
As calças são minhas.
São. That would be the I form. I am. São is they are. There we go. Minhas. Plural feminine.
Ela veste uma saia.
Veste uma saia. Okay, this could also mean wear. She
Veste.
wears. Yep. Puts on a skirt. What's that? Celtic word.
As carteiras são tuas.
As carteiras são tuas. The wallets are yours. Ela usa, because we will use uma saia. Uma saia. Or veste. They are my winter clothes. Agasalhos. Eles são as agasalhas minhas. Meus agasalhos. Oh, masculine. Oops. São. Yeah, eles is going to be human. Just drop it, and we'll start the sentence with the verb. São meus agasalhos. Meus. Huh. Interesting spelling. São meus agasalhos. There it is. Okay, looks like 3 more. Yeah. Oh, do let me know if there's any requests. Maybe next time we can start on any requested language. But there's nothing yet. Pocket. Bolso. Yeah.
O casaco.
Bolsonaro. Pocket maker.
O casaco. A roupa.
That's the general word for clothes.
O bolso.
Bolso. The pocket. Kazaku. I wonder if it's an ethnonym. Kazaku. Casaco. Casaco. Casac. White tie. Casacca. Casacca in Italian. Probably. Persian. It's a j. Kajarand. Padded garment. Stuffed silk. How cool. Very nice. O casaco.
O casaco.
Casaco. Voiced Z. For the stream vowels.
Casaco com bolsos grandes.
Coat with big pockets. Just the thing. What's going on? Calendario. Pardon me just a second. Oh, the clothes is a roupa.
A roupa.
Ele usa calça jeans.
Calça jeans. Jean pants. He wears jeans.
Ele compra a casa.
Ele compra a casa. He buys the house.
Luiz compra uma calça jeans. Luiz compra uma calça jeans.
Right. Luis is a name. Compra, buys. Uma calça. A pair of pants. Calça with this modified C. Jeans. Luis buys a pair of jeans.
Minhas roupas.
Minhas roupas. My clothes. And note how word initial R sounds in Brazilian Portuguese, like kind of like an H. Roupas.
Livros de bolso.
Pocketbooks. Books of pocket.
Preciso de roupas novas.
Preciso de roupas novas. I need new clothes. Preciso de roupas novas.
Eu visto uma jaqueta. Visto.
Uma jaqueta.
Eu visto uma jaqueta.
Eu visto uma jaqueta. I wear a jacket. The bear. Urso. Usa. Uma saia. Saia with an I. Jeans. Okay, that makes sense. Uma saia jeans. Eu visto uma jaqueta. Let me just check the spelling. Jaqueta. Couple more, and then we will see you tomorrow. Suit.
A luva.
Luva. I wonder if that's related to glove. Luva. It's from Germanic. Luva. Give me the Portuguese word luva. Yep, Gothic. Luva. So loof is also there, and glove. Related words. And the G is from a prefix in glove.
O relógio.
Relógio. The watch clock.
O terno.
Where is this from? Terno. Not this one. Okay, set of 3. Alright, ternus, the third, an ordinal number. Playing card featuring 3 pips, 3-piece suit. Terno. The 3-parter, that's nice. O relógio.
O relógio.
Você tem relógio?
Looks like religion. It means watch. Do you have a watch? Você tem relógio? A luva.
A luva.
Ele tira a luva.
Tira. Maybe put on here.
Tira.
Takes off. Yeah. Pull. He takes off the glove.
O menino tira a roupa do cachorro. O menino tira a roupa do cachorro.
Menino tira a roupa.
O menino tira a roupa do cachorro.
Takes the dog's clothes off.
Gosto da sua fantasia.
Gosto da sua fantasia. So gosto shows I like da sua. Your imagination.
Fantasia.
Costume. Cool.
Eles botam os agasalhos.
Botam. What's that? The warm clothes, they something.
Botam.
Botam, put on. Eles botam os agasalhos. They put on, definite, the warm clothes. That sounds lovely.
A menina veste uma fantasia.
The girl puts on a costume. A menina veste uma fantasia. He takes his gloves off. He pulls off the glove. Interesting that it's singular. Bota, that's the wrong one.
Bruno veste terno.
Terno. Veste terno. Bruno wears a suit. She takes off his suit. Ela tira a sua terno. His suit. Dele, yeah. Os agasalhos. No, suit. O terno dele. They put on their winter clothes. Eles what's the word here? Oh, let's use bottom. Os agasalhos deles. All right, last one for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
O sapato. A meia.
Meia. That's
A bolsa.
good.
O sapato.
Eu gosto da bolsa dela.
I like her purse. Right? Or pocket.
Bolsa.
Bag, purse, handbag. A meia.
A meia. Minha meia.
Sock.
A capa é laranja.
A capa é laranja. So
Laranja.
the cape.
Capa.
The cape is orange.
Eu tenho sapatos.
Tenho sapatos. I have shoes.
A capa é laranja.
Capa é laranja.
Eu calço uma sandália.
Eu calço uma sandália. Calço. Where?
Calço.
Put on a sandal. I want. Eu calço uma sandália.
Eu calço uma sandália.
Eu calço uma sandália. Have to get the same sentence 3 times in a row. Nothing wrong with that. Sandália. Meus sapatos. Sapatos são novos. Meus, that's the one. Sapatos são novos. Minha is okay. Minha meia. Alright, so in Portuguese, I want to hold on to minho, minha. I'll use the at sign in the singular, and then meus, plural. Maybe meias, don't know. But very differently spelled, plural. That's very interesting to me. My shoes. Meus sapatos são novos. There we go. All right. Okay, thanks again, and I hope the internet is cooperating and I can find my way back here tomorrow. See you then.